Inside our Blue Zerg playing this best of 5 final. This is from Team Expert Bly. He's going up against the red Terran player at the bottom left, who's going to be opening with the Proxy Rex from XCD Sports, Clem. SCV will arrive on the upper left hand side here, and we'll be able to start up the very first barracks already. So first rack's on the way up. The second SCV coming across is actually going to be seen by the Overlord. Well, Bly already opens with a spawning pool first. This is already looking very good for him, as Clem is a little bit late, surely, to send this third SCV out, right? Huh, how strange. Unless he's trying to fake a scout or something. And Bly already pooled first, drawing him to the low ground to expand now. This SCV just looks as though it wants to go across the map and again look for the scout. It's a 2 racks here, so it's a pressure from Clem. It's not super kind of committed or all in compared to some of the other builds that you can see, such as the 3 racks. And so against the 2 racks and the more pressure focused play rather than being all in, Clem will just be looking to apply some pressure, expand behind it, and kind of just go from there. As we do see, the first Marines will be on the way up. This first SCV actually builds a bunker quite far away. As he does realize it's a pool first, he realizes a forward bunker will probably be taken down very quickly. Instead, going to try and work his way forwards very methodically here. Perhaps Clem has that first bunker off to the side, and a second bunker will now start up, I imagine, towards the front. At least he has somewhere to put those Marines eventually, right? As we do see the first lings, and able to click on that SCV because it's hidden on the corner. This SCV in a little bit of trouble. Will be able to start on that SCV right now. It gets one shot as the Marine starts to push those couple of lings away. Immediately a roach on here from Bly. The roaches are not an amazing response to the 2 racks. Against the 3 racks, they're really good. Against the 2 racks, they are actually very, very overkill. So this is already great for Clem, who of course have a factory up, or refinery up at home. Probably looking towards a factory here very shortly. Bly just cancels the hatchery, and Clem, pretty content with this already. He's already salvaging his backwards bunker and is just going to be heading back. And the SCV comes over to finish off this wall of 2 lings are on their way across. Clem very much so knows it, so you will get this finished up here, and this wall off going to deny the couple of segments for the moment. Factory will come down in a moment too. And again, really not much committed pressure right now from Clem at the front any longer. His barracks have lifted. He's heading back home. He's happy with the position he's put himself in. As Bly delays his expansion, cancels it there, throws down the roach roaring for the defense, and again, in this scenario, it's actually not the best of situations. It's actually not the best response you could have. As you see, SCVs are trying to fight against these lings. Gets 1 ling kill. And we'll go for number 2 right here now. And we'll be able to... Ooh! Loses that SCV. Should have been able to pull that away, honestly. A little bit of a shame. Well, the 2 SCVs are going down. Something from Bly, at least here. As he will come down the ramp with roaches and ravagers. And again, massive overkill for what is just a 2 racks in this situation. As you are going to see Marines jumping out of the bunker, and they will get rid of one of these roaches, just to be sure right there. And, well, they're going to make some damage onto a Ravager. Just because why not get some damage onto a Ravager? If there's anything you want to kill off in these scenarios, it's the Ravagers. And you're going to get more damage on a Ravager than roaches, because they're armored, of course, so it just makes for easier pickings later. And it makes a lot of sense as Bly comes down to the south side of the map. And we will just be seeing the command center is going to be coming up here in the natural. As the hatchery starts up as well. Sorry, the hatchery's in the natural. The command center's in the main base. As we do have the starport coming up currently here from Clem as well. So Cyclone's about to finish up, and as that Cyclone comes to the front, we'll be seeing a tech lab building on the barracks here to the side. Overlord will start to take some hits as a couple of corrosive bars will come down, and they will start to deal some damage here to this little bit of a wall off. SCV's pulled in to fight against the Ravagers. We'll pull back here once again, another corrosive bar, and this might be access to the main base given. There's only a Cyclone up at the moment. The only thing that Clem has right now is the Cyclone. He's going to be losing at the very least a second supply depot here, it feels like. Because there's just nothing you can do to stop the corrosive bars from killing him. Well, so Clem's in a little bit of trouble suddenly. Just from the full Ravager counter-attack as Bly double expands out of this. Out of trouble. A lot of these Ravagers low on health. A couple of SCVs trying to repair. He doesn't target the lower health Ravager, which allows this Cyclone to get picked off. Chasing right now. This one Ravager is about to go down. Bly will drop a couple corrosive bars. Doesn't quite get the kill. Now there should be enough damage output on this Cyclone to get the kill here on both these Ravagers before it goes down. So he does clean up. In the end, 2 depots lost, 3 depots lost for the and the Cyclone for 4 Ravagers. I think Clem's actually still kind of okay with this. Bly overcommitting just a little bit there, stuck around a bit too long, also loses an Overlord now as Clem gets ready to mine from the low ground. Bly doing the same, but down by 10 workers as he goes into a lair in an evolution chamber. What possibly could his plan be here? as he continues to get set up and going in this game number 1. I think Bly in general just is behind, and he probably to some extent knows very much so that he's behind as well. Going to be having a lay on the way up now in the main base. Again, that's set and ready to go. Banshee on the way out of the starport. Marines and a Cyclone from Clem gathering together on the low ground. A couple of supply depots are going to be dropping down as well. So, dropping down a couple of depots here. We are going to be seeing this Banshee from Clem continue to go in towards the upper right hand side. This Banshee will look to see what it can do. I think Speed Carapace on the way up. Cloak upgrade also coming through right now, as we are going to be seeing a couple of engineering bays currently on the way down, and we are just going to be seeing the in general the setup of Bly still going to be struggling a little bit here, as he is just going to be hurting a little bit. Still on the work count, 45 to 36. He has actually caught up on workers quite significantly, but it means he hasn't made units for a little while, so a push from Clem can start to be a little bit deadly here. He has this single Banshee that's still at home just in case of a counterattack. He's afraid of what Bly might come up with in the near future. Bly is now throwing down a Carapace upgrade, so he's already quite far along with that. Clem going to be behind on upgrades for a little bit due to that one. Obviously it gets taken down as well. Bly supply blocked from the loss. Just a little bit of passivity at the moment. Banshee gets a couple of drone kills at the same time, so just the Banshee harassment, otherwise everything's kind of slowed down. Obviously, Creep Spread's pretty slow here from Bly. Stimpak's on the way now from our turn. Where are the 1-1 upgrades? He's got those engineering bays. He's missing the gas for the 1-1. But at least start a +1, you know? I mean, those upgrades are going to be very important too. And the sooner you have them, the sooner you can keep your advantages. There you go. +1 attack and +1 armor. Finally start up here out of Clem. 10 more drones on the way out as these two Banshees of Clem starting to head back up towards the upper right hand side. Creep still pushing out on the map as well. It's Changeling heading down towards the bottom left hand side. These couple of Banshees also just having a little bit of a fly around at the minute. Looking to see what's up, looking to see what their opportunities are. A lot of creep here at the moment from Bly. And we are just going to be seeing the scan coming down. Creep continue to be picked away at the moment, so a couple of creep teams getting picked off. Queens continue to move around, and obviously Creep is still pressing forwards at the moment to the top side. Pushing all the way through the center as well, and down to the south. A couple of medevacs going to load up some siege tanks, and they are going to be coming over to the right side too. He's actually going to go back for one of the siege tanks here. So this is the first big push of Clem, as he loses a Banshee just moments before it. Marines don't have combat shields for a little while either. They're actually only on Stimpak at the moment, as Bly goes into Roaches and Festus, the Hive Tech coming up as well. I mean, all of this from Bly is all well and good, right? But it gets to this sort of point where he gets into a little bit of trouble. As these tanks are going to be pushing forward, so you are going to see a scan coming down and a creep teamer being cleaned out already. Some creep being cleaned out right now. We're going to see some tanks sieging up. Infestors, big fungal growth. Oh my god, Clem is absolutely annihilated by this fungal, and that just might be the end of this attack right here. And yes, the tanks are still looking good in position, but wow, I mean, that fungal growth was just insane. So many Marines taking so much damage already as medevacs continue to resupport this. Clem's still going to try and stick around. I mean, he's supported by the siege tank, so he still has something going for himself here, but I don't know. After that fungal growth, I'm not feeling too great for him, as we are going to be seeing a few Queens coming in from the right-hand side. Here we go. Roaches and Ravagers are going to start pushing forwards. A fungal lands on the Marines. Tanks are still firing away, and to be fair, they're doing quite a bit of damage from the back lines here. Some Ravagers getting blown up as they do come forwards. Going to see another tank and a few Marines showing up. Going to get a few more Ravager kills. Clem is making a hell of a fight out of this in the end. Reinforced Marines are starting to not turn this around, but definitely really kind of help him pick up a few extra kills at the end there. And wow, Clem kills quite a bit. There's 14 more Roaches on the way from Bly. I mean, there's the issue though. He's also got Chitinous Plating on the way. He's moving in towards his later stages of this already. And as he moves in towards those later stages, Bly is looking pretty great. Sildra's Cavern is just coming through here at the moment. We're going to see a few more Roaches and Ravagers heading off over to the left-hand side, and a couple of Crows of Bals will be dropping down in a moment or two. Siege Tank taking some hits right here, and we're going to see this Ravager having to back away just a little bit. There's a couple of Crows of Bals dropping down and picking off a few more supply depots here already. And we are going to see that +2 melee upgrade, the +3 Carapace upgrade from Bly currently coming up as well. Five more drones on the way out. 2-2 upgrades on the way at the moment. He has still a single Swarm Hose accidentally got made and actually did drop some Locusts into the main base just to be a nuisance, it seems. So we do have this Medivac. It's going to be moving around and again looking to see what it can get up to here. So the single drop actually finds the Swarm Host. The Swarm Host, he didn't even want to be in this game. He was meant to be made in a ZVP. Yet here he is in the ZVT. Well, I guess he could have been made in the ZVT, but not against Bio. Bly's Ultra is on the way out then, and that Hive Tech play is obviously going to make life a little bit more difficult for Clem, but if anyone is very happy playing a very late game situation, Clem is definitely one of those guys. I mean, you know, he's very consistently going in towards the late game situations. He plays to sort of sit back and build up in towards Ghost Liberator. And I imagine right now this is what that game is sort of beginning to head towards. He's not making any moves towards it just yet straight away, but especially as he realizes the Ultras are out, well then he doesn't really have a choice, right? Because what else is he going to do to kill these Ultras? Really not much at all. A couple of Corrosive Bars with the Fungal Growth. Kills the Medivac. That's a little bit of a mistake there by Clem, just being a little bit complacent with it. Not quite paying attention, and well, unfortunately that's the end of the Medivac, so already one drop shot down, and Bly already just denying potential threats on the map before they even really become a threat, as we are going to be seeing. Well, tank over here, firing away on some Zerglings, Marines. Going to be ready to kind of stim on in and go after this. Ling's taking some shots, the Ultra is taking some damage as well already. Well, off down side though, there is an army as well from Bly, so he's going to come in, he's going to turn this into a bit of a surround. Fourth base is not a planetary just yet as these Ultras are. I mean, this is just going to be insane. Fungal Growth catches a lot of Marines. I mean, the fact that Terran is lifting up from his fourth base to pull back into the natural is already a very good example of what's happening here, as we are going to see more SCVs going down. Lingers, Ultras, and Ravagers, Roaches, sorry, continue to press on forwards, and they are looking to pick up a few more kills right now, as we are going to be seeing the Siege Tank picked off right now, and we are going to be seeing this as pretty much the end of game number 1. Bly, after honestly not the greatest of starts, turns it around. Clem just losing a few too many units. I mean, the Fungal Growth was the start of turning this around, and from there it just got worse and worse for Clem. And Bly's going to be able to pick up the first game of the series. As Clem's going to try and stick in this, lifting up units, moving them around. You can see SCVs pulling away already, as well as Roaches and Ultras continue to move towards the main base. They're going to start coming up this ramp. No wall off here because he killed it off early in the game with the Ravagers. Ultras will end up falling. Corrosive Bars are dropping on down on top of everything. And Clem might clean this up, but only be met by more reinforcements. Well, actually, Corruptors are not going to do too much. I guess they can caustic spray down this base and take Clem away from being on a 4th. And then very soon they're going to start moving their way in towards being a set of Broodlords, which is obviously something which, right now, Clem doesn't really have an answer to. Corruptors just move them way in, and there isn't even that many Marines at the moment, so he's just going to pick off a couple of Medivac kills. I mean, why not? Medivacs are just, you know, hanging out for free at the moment, and Corruptors chase them around for a little bit. Again, Bly is in this position where if he wants some more of him Broodlords, he can. Ling's already overwhelming to the 4th base, which is trying to be retaken here, as the Lings will come forwards here too. And Tank's getting surrounded. GG from Clem. Bly takes game 1 on the roll. Bottom right hand side, up 1 in the best of 5 finals. Our blue Zerg player. This, my friends, is Bly. And he is going up against the red Terran to the top left from XED Sports, Clem. Excited to see Clem at Home Story Cup actually in the next few days. Should be pretty interesting to see him play. An offline tournament again. Intrigued to see how well he can do. As we do get ourselves set up right now. Game 2 of this best of 5 coming up. Bly starting to wander across the map here for this first Overlord. Rax and a gas on the way currently from Clem. A couple of workers just going to start hopping on in here, and, well, this time the proxied Rax is not a thing. The Rax is at home. The Rax is in his base. No surprises here just yet. Sorry, I just need to grab myself a drink very quickly. Oh. Just need a sip of water. Alright then. Well. Hatchery, command center is coming down, the hatchery is coming up. It was pulled first from Bly, so obviously Bly likes to do these sort of builds because he can then turn it into some aggression, so he's already getting this set up. He likes to try and get across and just be a nuisance, but SCV Scout will see the lings, so actually Clem already on top of what Bly is trying to get up to here, already on top of his shenanigans. So Clem should not be too afraid of what's going on, should just keep his Reaper at home, as he is going to be going into a second Rax already, so he is looking to play a 2-1-1 build, and he's looking to play with aggression here. So he's looking to kind of just get the bio going early, play it out, see what he can do, see if he can cause some chaos, some ruffles in Bly's mind, because so far Bly's going to be pretty happy with that first game. After it didn't start well, he was still able to turn it around into a victory, and so, you know, that's always the best games to win, right? The ones where you're like, well, you know, I don't really feel like maybe should have won these, but, you know, I did, so what can I say? Reaper going to be fighting away against the couple of lings here, as we are going to be seeing workers back into production. I mean, the good thing is there's a lot of Marines on the way out. The thing is, Bly also saw what was going on, so from a very early stage, he knows this is a 2-1-1. And so Bly can already begin to think about, well, how do I want to deal with a 2-1-1? You know, if I have to do anything here, how exactly do I approach this? What do I go for? It's an interesting question, of course. What does he go for? How does he go for this right now? What is his approach going to be? Once we get ourselves setting up, and we do just have this Reaper currently being pushed away for the moment. Moving around, Reaper gonna go down to the Queen, I think. Oh, the grenade saves it. I should know better for Clem. He's good on the micro. He doesn't make mistakes like that very often. So Reaper does just stay alive here, and that allows him to obviously come back in and to keep some information flowing for the foreseeable future. Meanwhile, Bane and Ness is on the way from Bly. 14 Zerglings as well. It's getting to that point where he's going to need to be ready to deal with this attack very soon. There's a lot of lings already, actually. Interested to see how this continues. What's up, Farrah in the chat? Coming in for 2-month resub on the Twitch Prime. Thanks for still streaming SE2. Enjoying watching your stream. Keep it up. Well, thank you so much for the 2-month resub. Do appreciate it. Can you get some love in the chat for Farrah, guys? Thank you so much for the 2 months of resubscribing. Welcome back again. I'm glad you're enjoying the content. 10 Bane's going to morph into the side, and this is what I was talking about. These lings were a little bit early. You know, this was not kind of the regular, like, okay, 45 to 50 drones, cut, make Ling Queen, defend the 2-1-1. This is boom, 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 pow, pow, pow. We are going to go, 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 and counter-attack, and this is going to be problematic, because Clem is not going to have a lot in position right from the get-go. Well, we're just going to be seeing these couple of medevacs off over to the right-hand side. Going to be starting to unload at the moment here, as you are going to have Banelings moving up this ramp, and well, they're going to smash down these supply depots. Supply depots go down, lings keep on moving forwards, and already some lings going to go in towards the natural minimum line. Oh, the lings are going to be in the main as well, and the Banes are going through as well. Clem is in a lot of trouble. He has to do some real magic with these Marines across the map, because he is going to start losing a lot of SCVs here very soon. I mean, he already has. He's down by 20 at the moment. He does clean out the Queens, though. He's going to get the third hatchery kill. And as some few reinforcement Marines come out over here, Bly will run a few more lings up this ramp to try and get rid of them, and to try and keep on doing some more damage. But it looks as though Bly's going to run out momentum. while Clem still has some units across. So 10 SCVs against 37 drones. Clem has some work to get done. He's going to start doing that work right now. Gets a few drone kills, brings it to a 23 worker difference. As he starts up drone SCV production of his own, he can just target down these banelings and sit in this mineral line and fight. Well, maybe there's some way and hope that he has to make something happen here. In the end, he just lifts up, backs away. We'll get another Overlord kill. I mean, even killing Overlords right now is painful because it's not like Bly has a huge economy of his own. Every 100 minerals is going to go a long way right here. As another couple of Marines do get picked off. And 1-1 upgrades right now of Clem going to continue on in on the natural expansion. Marines unloading from these medevacs going to be gathering together as well and thinking about pushing in towards the third base. Meanwhile, Zerglings of Bly continue to push in towards the upper left-hand side. This hatchery gets cancelled right away. A drone goes down, and we are going to be seeing one queen going down. The second queen taking some hits, doesn't go down just yet. Mauling Bane coming in, but well, the Marines just load up, and Clem's just going to leave the game. Another run by just hit his natural just now. Bly takes game 2. Because on the left-hand side, our blue Zerg player is Bly. Up 2-0 in this best of 5 on Darkness Sanctuary. Well, one big thing here from Clem is that at least he doesn't have cross spawns to deal with. Vertical spawns will be good for him in terms of pushing, in terms of being able to keep on applying pressure, rallying across the map. So we do have our red Terran to the bottom left, Clem. Let's see if he can take a game in this best of 5 grand final. Right now, this is starting to head in towards a bit of a faster series than I thought it would be. Clem and Bly TvZ again at WCS Austin was one of the longest series of the entire tournament. It was really insane, and that was just a best of 3. It almost delayed an entire section of the group stage. Some pretty crazy stuff. As you will see, the Reaper is popping out, and Clem going to be heading in towards the upper left-hand side. So Clem heading in towards the upper left right now. Going to be seeing link speeders on the way down right now from Bly as well. As we do just see Bly is able to come in with this drone and get ready to take his third hatchery. Reaper a little bit occupied to go and actually deal with the drone. Will start to come over now, forces the drone to become an extractor, which again just slows it down for a little bit, and this is just making life a little bit difficult and awkward for our Zerg player. Starport on the way up here in the main base, so getting that ready to go as we do see a tech lab coming down on the barracks as well. This Overlord of Bly heading down the right side of the map as we are going to be seeing a couple more Hellions on the way out here. And this Reaper from Clem just coming forwards a little bit as well. Already this Queen having a little bit of a fight right there, dealing some damage. A couple of Zerglings working their way through the natural as we do see the Zerglings in the main base taking some damage too. So a couple of Hellions firing some shots and getting some kills. Hellions here will turn around. They'll pick up a Zergling kill too right there as Clem going to be able to throw down a mule, throw down an SCV, his natural ready to go. Wow, look at this engineering bay block. Clem is going to force Bly to expand towards him. And that means that Bly now, with an expansion towards Clem, this base is so much easier for Clem to push into than before. So that is going to be absolutely crazy. As we do see the Lair coming up right now, going to be on its way. Another couple of Hellions on the way out. Starport jumps onto the Tech Lab. Banshee and Cloak on the way out. Tech Lab drops down on the barracks as well here, so those couple of Hellions continue to poke their way through this hatchery on the left-hand side. Creep coming down the left as well, as these Zerglings do gather themselves together. And they'll be going for a little bit of a run by, it seems. Bly for Roach Ron on the way up alongside the Lair means that he wants to play a Roach-based style with this. I'm intrigued to see just what that looks like. That's not super quick or anything too crazy though. 2 gases, Roach Ron coming up. Meanwhile, again, Clem going to play the Cloak Banshee, helps him with staying safe against earlier Roaches a lot of the time, as those first Hellions actually in some trouble right here. They are going to be able to be repaired though, so Clem able to keep this alive. But yeah, Clem is also going towards a bio transition of his own. His extra barracks are on the way up, the factory's going to move out the way from the reactor. Starport's still making another Banshee though, so this is Cloak Banshee with the bio follow-up. We'll see again if Bly can really clean this up, as we are going to have the Hellions continue to do some damage. It is a Nidus network, okay. You know, I was kind of wondering, is this a Nidus? But I honestly really truly felt that it was a bit too late for it. And he's going to try for it. Nidus network. Obviously, there is going to be Queens to put in that Nidus to deal with the Banshees. There is going to be an Overseer to deal with that as well. There's an Overlord in the main base that's just set, ready to pop the Nidus down right there. It's going to be Zerglings coming out of this Nidus rather than Roaches, so this is going to get interesting right here as Bly losing a couple of workers already. If he kills a Banshee already, that's amazing, because there's one less thing he has to target down across the map, and he didn't see Clem. He didn't see that Nidus network, but he sees nothing on the third base, and surely that has to be a bit of a concern. Some Lings poking at the front. There's only really Hellions out for Clem right now. A factory building a siege tank now, but is that a little bit too late? It very well might be, as we're going to be seeing that Nidus getting ready to finish up, getting ready to pop. And these Hellions are still out on the map and not in the base, and that is problematic in itself. Queen Slings on their way out right here. SCVs are going to start pulling into this. We do see a few Lings. They're already fighting on the left-hand side. The Marines are not really close enough to join that fight just yet. Siege tank is out. We'll start a siege up. Queens transfusing each other. Need to keep each other alive as long as possible. One Queen on the tank. The rest of the Queens surrounded, though, means they're not able to properly get in here and target that siege tank down. Queen's running out of health, running out of transfusions. A few Roaches coming out now as well. Just needs to push through towards the siege tank. He still can't quite kill it. 10 SCVs remain from Clem, and dropping still. There's still one Queen on top of this tank, but it's going to go down right now. And Bly is just going to drone up from this position with the damage she's already done. I mean, 9-10 workers remaining. Clem is going to have a 1-1 upgrade lead. If this tank went down, this game is so different. It changes so much if this tank isn't up. Oh, if it goes down a lot faster. 29 supplied to the 53, but again, upgrades in favor of Clem. A lot of this is going to depend on just how much Bly can rely on his own workers. Oh, the Contaminate on the natural. That's kind of huge right now because it contaminates at such an amazing time. It stops SCV production. Bly, more Roaches on the way to keep himself safe. And this game looking as though it might just secure Bly a 3-0 victory in today's GO4SC2 finals. What's up, the Nema coming in with the 18-month resubscription, a year and a half. Thank you so much. Can we get some love in the chat, please, for the Nema? Thank you so much for the 18-month resub. Really do appreciate it. Thank you so much to Palaterion as well, coming in with the 3-month resub on the Twitch Prime 2. Great to see you back, buddy. Thank you so much for the 3 months. Do appreciate the support. Thank you so much. 1-1, equal army supplies, as Clem pushes in towards the upper side of the map. Roaches from Bly are unlocated right now. There they are. They're off to the right-hand side here. It's actually a pretty difficult position to defend. I mean, 2 tanks on the left. This third base already taking damage. Nidus in the main. What's Bly's plan here? What is he putting into that Nidus network? His next set of Roaches, I guess? There's only a handful of Marines there at the moment. Thing is, if these Roaches aren't already in the Nidus when it goes off, I mean, there's just going to be Marines coming in, stemming in and cleaning this up. Okay, Roaches now jumping into the Nidus at this point. Marines kind of won this fight over on this side. Roaches coming out again. They're playing without an upgrade advantage. Nidus will get targeted down here. These Roaches, honestly, they trade pretty well so far without a tank here to soften them up or anything. He's going to clean up a lot of the Marines. There isn't another follow-up Nidus, though. It's just a little bit too expensive, I think, as Bly. Still 18 workers ahead, but that looks to be about as far as he'll get. And his own +1 character is at least coming through. There's no armory here from Clem, so 2-2 is not on the way. So Bly is catching up on the upgrades. He's making that workable for him, as he still just sits on the 2-base saturation. He starts with a few more drones. He needs more army right now, though. Right now, because another drop coming across the map. Only one siege tank this time, though. With only one siege tank, this maybe becomes a bit more manageable, a bit more engageable. Tank will siege up. Marines continuing to unload. A few more Roaches of Bly coming down the ramp, and we are going to see Marines stemming in towards the third base. Bly is just going to give it up, and so this is what I was talking about when Clem, he has the upgrade lead, and so the counterattacks are always going to be somewhat advantageous. Forcing Bly to expand towards him originally as well was obviously a great move, and it's something which has had some influence on this game, as Bly will now take the third base. He originally wanted to try and, well, recuperate some of his economy. Roaches poking at the front, they get a Marine, they back away. Bly at least still keeping some presence on the map, which so far has been relatively important here. 2 medevacs in towards the third base. As those medevacs going to be heading towards the main and unloading in the next few moments. The Marines coming out at the moment. And you see Roaches continue to come on forwards, a Ravager or 2 as well. Crucible drops down, doesn't quite connect, but the medevac's off to the top side. So the medevac's able to stay alive at the moment here. A couple more infestors on the way out. Extra barracks on the way down from Clem at home. Still 2 base in this here. Honestly, you can kind of see why. The issue is Bly's army supply is starting to look a lot better. The accidental swarm host has a couple of infestors come out. Quite often when you go for these 2 base attacks, the Terran goes in with an army supply lead. and still isn't quite able to close it out. This game, he's going to be going in for an army supply deficit. Admittedly, against roaches, maybe that has a big part to play. Depends a lot on how those fungal growths go as well, I imagine. Overseer into the main base, contaminates the factory, slows down siege tank production, which is also fairly important at this stage of the game. Infestors 5 energy away now from a fungal growth apiece. 2 more overlords on the way up here, and we do see marines and tanks starting to push in towards the top side. A roach in the center gets taken down by a siege tank in the back. Oh, roaches and rabbits going to jump on this before these tanks are siege. He gets the fungal growth, and I mean that was one of the big things in the last and the first game that turned the game around. Bly, I mean that's a great start. Kills the siege tank. Remember, he contaminated the siege tank production as well, so he slowed that down across the map also recently. Let's see, I mean, maybe not another fungal growth just yet. Corrosive powers will be enough to kill this siege tank off. That's a fungal growth to be proud of. That hits absolutely everything, and Clem's army supply is disappearing. It looks as though Bly is going to be able to make this work here, as we are going to be seeing some marines just hanging out on the low ground. More marines pushing out through the center. A siege tank going to be following up as well. And we are having Clem, well, he's bringing his units towards the upper side of the map. Roaches and Ravagers of Bly going to go down the left. We do just have still some units just pressing forwards here. These marines being pushed away right now. And again, it looks as though he's intercepting reinforcements too, and so Clem is in a lot of trouble. In the end, Bly's economy was good enough off the Niger's attack, and that's GG. Bly takes the series 3-0.